Okay, so our memories, Texas Stadium '85, when Dad got his head shaved, kind of like a personal little story. I remember Dad had just woke up and he was smoking a cigarette and he was sitting down, and I went, I'm like 5 years old at this time, something like that. And I don't know how I knew, but I knew Dad was losing his hair.
Of course,
day.
he always did the job.
Yeah, and I just remember I went over and I kissed his hair, like kissed his little head, and like kissed his hair, and
He was already gone by that point anyway. But.
yeah. So that's pretty much what I remember that morning. And memories Texas Stadium '85.
I remember that was the first. We were in the dressing room because Flair had come in with the belt and everybody was shaking his hand. And then Dad and Fritz and Kerry and Moon, one-man gang for the uninitiated, they all went into, I think it was basically used as the coach's room, the coach's office at the back of the old Texas Stadium. So this is like a long time ago before Jerry World. Dad, Kerry, David Manning, Moon, and Fritz all went into the little room where they closed the door to go over the finish. Because back in the day, yeah, you wouldn't plan everything out, but you would know the finish. You're like, something's going on in there. And then when they came out, it wasn't just as I thought because Dad had done the job. Actually, Moon did. But that was an incredible match. And I remember during that match, it was right before the finish, and it picked up on the camera where it looked like somebody threw something in the ring. It was like a Coke or ice or something. But then the pop was huge, but it really put a lot of luster back on Kerry. And I remember touching the back of Dad's head as we were driving, saying, bye, 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 bye. Dad was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it was, and I remember Ralph Pulley looked at Dad and said, it's a much needed improvement. No kidding, Ralph didn't say that, but he was thinking. But that was my mom was.
Another cool story that reminded me, it had to have been Texas Stadium '85, I'm pretty sure, was just to talk about what a nice guy Terry Gordy was, or how friendly he was, or good with kids or whatever. I always remember we were just playing around in the dressing room, and we were in that little room that you were talking about, me, Dad, and Gordy. And I remember we were just playing around, and he like laid down on his back and he let me cover him, and I pinned him 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And for years after that, after we'd see Terry Gordy, Dad and him would always joke. Remember when you beat Terry Gordy at Texas Stadium?
I got one on him too, back to back. So so we got 2 over on him.
Yeah. So.
But and then the other memory for me for that day was they were going out for that 20-man or 30-man or whatever it was, that tag match where they had the car set up in the back of the end zone, and I'm just sitting back there because I knew they were talking about something with the car because Moon had the chain. And I would remember Flair didn't work the 10-man or the 12-man because he was supposed to, but he did something where he hurt his ankle against Kevin in the match before. And I'm sitting between Ricky, Flair, and Fritz Von Erich, and I know something's up with the car.
I think they know who Ricky is.
And I'm like, then I say, Steamboat was, no, Steamboat came to the Cotton Bowl, he didn't see that. I'm sitting between Ricky and Fritz, and I was thinking, they're going to destroy that car, and Fritz just mumbled, they better not destroy that damn car. And then a few minutes later, after the match was over, windshield got destroyed.
Huh?